Hi everyone, this is Jen. Welcome to my channel. Look at all of these paper purses I have been making and seriously have kind of just been obsessed with it recently. So I have made all different sizes with all different kinds of pattern paper. This is the one we are going to make today. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need some pattern paper, and I am using, this is like just a regular weight cardstock, so we're going to do like a Halloween themed purse, and this piece is 8.5 by 3.5. This is the body of your purse. These are the sides of your purse. These are 3 by 2 3/4. You will need a handle piece that is 8.5 by 1, and this will be your little closure flap, and this is 1 inch by 3 inches. Now, I have some other embellishment pieces we're going to throw on to the project, but to make the project itself, these are the components that you would have to make the purse. All right, so let's go ahead and move these aside. We're going to get to the body of our purse here, and on the 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 3/4, 1 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. So we'll put that aside. On your side pieces that are 3 by 2 3/4, you're going to score at, alright, so on the 3 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then you're going to turn it so that it's on the 2 3/4 inch side, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2 1/4. So let's do the same exact thing on the 2 3/4 side. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2 1/4, then turn it so that the 3 inch side's the top of the board and score at 1/2 inch. Now your handle, what we're going to do is we are going to score at 3/8 inch, and then we're going to turn it around and score at 1/4 inch. And then when we fold these over, it'll make a really strong, sturdy handle. And I believe that's all we have to score right now. So let's put this aside. Grab the body of our bag. We're going to reinforce these score lines. Then there are, on the side pieces, the little corner squares. We need to just take those out. So cut them away. Found some really cute holiday Christmas paper today. I didn't buy it yet, but my intent is to buy it and make some cute little holiday purses out of that paper. So now what you're going to do is take your adhesive. I'm going to use 1/2 inch adhesive. I'm going to place it on these flaps. This would be the bottom flap, and then these are the 2 side flaps. You're going to place it on the right side of your paper, on the front side. And then what we'll do is we will stick the bottom on first. So we're going to I kind of get my head at table level, and just you're lining up the edge of your side flap to the bottom of your purse. So let's do both of those. So we're just going to line up the side, and then once we get them lined up, you can give them a better burnish with your finger. And then we can take the sides off, just line them up, press them down. Press that one down. This paper works really well with a project like this because it doesn't have a certain pattern and it doesn't have to go a certain way. What happens is if you get a paper that has a certain pattern or whatever, when you score this, you have the front of it going this way and then you score it, and as you go around, this part, the flap, ends up being technically upside down. So if you have a pattern paper that you want to use, you will probably have to use a solid color paper and do panels with your pattern paper. And I'm going to make one of those later on, but just a heads up, if your pattern paper just has a very strict direction to it, you're probably going to have to modify your design a little bit. So here's our purse. It's all together. Let's go ahead and finish it out. I have this piece here. This is a piece that is 1 inch by 3.5 inches, and that's the same length as our flap here. So I'm going to round the corners on our fold over flap. This is one of those things you could do before you assemble the purse. And I'm going to round 2 corners here, and I'm going to lay this so that we kind of have an outline on our flap. You want to stick your adhesive. I'm going to once again use the 1/2 inch. You want to stick your adhesive on the right side of your glitter paper. And then what you're going to do is, the easiest thing for me I found is where your score line is here for your flap. If you just line up the edge of your paper to that score line, then you will be able to evenly place that on there. And then when you fold this over, you're going to have a border in that color paper, whatever you choose. Okay, let's grab the handle here. So we have scored it. I'm going to just fold over on those score lines. So it's just going to make it extra sturdy. Then let's go ahead and take some, I'm going to grab some 1/4 inch adhesive. I'm going to lay some down on this side. And I'll turn it around and we'll lay some on this side. So fold those in just like that. There's our handle. And then what I've done was I cut a piece of this orange glitter paper, and actually I've cut it too thick. So let's see if I can cut it down some more. I don't know with it being this small. I just wanted kind of to go down the middle of the handle with a little bit of the glitter paper. So there we go. So I don't know, probably around 1/4 inch or a little bit less maybe. This is an 1/8 inch score tape, so if I am using this, so it's just about an 1/8 inch, I guess. A little bit bigger. So we'll just line this piece with some score tape. And we'll embellish our handle with just a little bit of glitter. Maybe. Just stick it down the center. Okay, so that kind of decked out our handle a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and attach the handle that we've made. I'm going to bring back in my scoreboard and score at 1/2 inch. Now you're not going to make a huge score mark with this because you're going through several layers of thick paper, but just score at 1/2 inch just to give you some kind of a guideline to fold over the flaps there. And then you might want to even, my paper is really thick. It was 110-pound cardstock to start out with, and then, you know, I have several layers of it, so it's really thick. I will probably hot glue my handles on, so I'm going to go over and do that right now. But you could use adhesive if you wanted to, or glue, but I'm going to use hot glue just to make sure they stay on. So I have hot glued the handles on to the inside of the purse. Now we're going to work on the flap closure. And I told you in the beginning that you needed a piece that was 1 inch by 3 inch, and that would be plenty to go ahead and make a flap, but we're gonna layer a couple pieces for embellishment and for just to make it a little more sturdy. So we're gonna layer this piece here. This is 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4. This one here is 1 by 3, and this one is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I just went up 1/4 of an inch on both measurements each time that I made a layer. So let's go ahead and get all of these layers put together. And then what we're going to also do is I'm going to grab my corner rounder, and I'm going to round just one end of these pieces. I'm not going to do, this is the back side, I'm not going to do the back side. So let's go ahead and layer on the glitter piece. And what I'm really looking for is down here on the front part, which is the rounded part, going to look for just kind of an even trim around the bottom and the sides. So line it up at the bottom here, not at the back. Once again, going in here like this. Try to even it up, stick it down. And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and cut off this so it's even in the back, but I like it layered back there too, so I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna come in to my scoreboard again, and I'm going to score this. I'm going to the right side of my board, so I'm gonna score at 11 1/4, which is giving me 3/4 of an inch over here. So if you wanted to stick it over here, if you wanted to stick it on this side and score it 3/4 of an inch, you could do that as well. So anyways, this little flap is 3/4 of an inch. Grab some score tape, put some on there. This is another one of those things you could probably hot glue as well, just to make sure that it does not go anywhere. But the score tape does really, really well. So let's bring our purse back in. We're going to go to the back and kind of fold this in so you can see the back of our purse, and we're going to just even this out. Got some extra adhesive hanging off there. Go down the middle, eyeball it. You could, you know, use a ruler and make a mark if you wanted to, but we're just going to eyeball it, stick it in there, and there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick another little piece of adhesive just right inside here. You could do this before you stuck on the closure, but all I'm going to do is just press this against my flap so that it all stays together, and then I can kind of crease my closure where my flap is. I'm going to do the same thing there, kind of burnish all my folds, and then there is our bag. Now what we're going to do is take a Velcro dot like this and put on the flap for our closure. So let me grab one of these. Just going to stick it on the end here, just like that. I'm going to grab the other half. I'm going to stick it on there. And then I have been having a little bit of an issue with this adhesive that comes with these glue dots, not sticking very well. So I have been putting a little extra hot glue on those as well. But we'll go ahead and try. We'll put it down. Keep everything lined up, and you can take them apart, stick your hand in here, and just give this a little bit of reinforcing as far as sticking, and see if it'll stick by itself. If it will stick by itself, you don't need hot glue, but some of mine were not sticking very well, so I just used hot glue. But there it is, cute little purse. You can put some treats in it. Awesome. Okay guys, thanks for watching. This was our little example. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.